SpotlightMediaStudios.com. Welcome to Education Unfiltered. Here is Mary Stucco.
Hello, this is Mary Stucco with Education Unfiltered, where we talk all things higher ed. And that doesn't necessarily mean just going to college. There's a lot of other things available for those looking to gain some knowledge about their career. And that's where Tony Willis comes in. He is the Chief Equity Development Officer for the Lansing Economic Area Partnership, otherwise known as LEAP. Welcome, Tony.
Hey, good morning, Mary. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So let's talk a little bit about what LEAP is for those who aren't familiar with it, and then also going into why LEAP focuses on entrepreneurship.
Yeah, absolutely. So LEAP, as you just mentioned, is the Lansing Economic Area Partnership, and we are the region's economic development organization. We represent the three counties, Clinton, Eaton, and Ingham County. And then we also have a contract for specific work within Ingham County directly, as well as the city of Lansing for their economic development efforts. And so when we say economic development, that might invoke a lot of different things. You ask 5 or 10 different economic developers what economic development means, you might get varied answers. But it boils down to prosperity. Prosperity for people in the region. We are not a business advocate group. We are an advocate for the prosperity and the outcomes of the people in the region. And that by doing that is by having opportunities for those people in the region, for opportunities for good paying jobs, opportunities for a safe, creative place to live, opportunities where your ideas can flourish and grow. And cultivate to new businesses themselves. And so that's an opportunity for talent as a whole. And so that's where, we boil down to about prosperity for the people, and that creates a prosperous region. And so that's what economic development boils down to that front. We do it by a number of ways. Through one is, business attraction efforts. We help businesses locate in the greater Lansing region. We also do that by business retention, by staying on top and talking to local businesses, making sure that they want to stay within our region. Through economic gardening, so through entrepreneurship programs, helping develop and cultivate new ideas and giving technical assistance and the support systems around fledgling entrepreneurs so they can grow in our region. And those are, the main areas that we look at as economic development. Plus, we do a couple of off-the-wall things, too, like, placemaking. We do a lot of art sculptures. We have a poet laureate program, too, with, performing arts, because all those things create a sense of place and make our area desirable. So, a long answer to your short question of what is LEAP in economic development.
So LEAP is kind of everywhere, and you can see that how much there's been a lot of people in play, including LEAP, to really help change the face of Lansing over the last decade. It's been something else to watch. It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, it's we pride ourselves in that work. It's a mission of ours, and all of our staff really believe it and live it. And we want to see that Lansing is a true gem of Michigan and the Midwest, and we want to make sure we put that out there in the world.
That's fantastic. So you mentioned a lot of different things. LEAP's involved in, got your hands in a lot of different areas, and you mentioned entrepreneurship. So why do you focus on entrepreneurship in the Lansing area?
Absolutely, Mary. So it's when we think of prosperous communities, and specifically from the Michigan backdrop here, where it's historically been automotive driven. In that space, we know that and those bigger companies were started off as smaller ventures and smaller businesses. And they're just focusing on automotive venture because that was the opportunity at that time. But the motto is that by supporting new ideas and giving them the ability to grow, develop, and further extend their roots in the community, now you have created more diversity in your economy. And we look at entrepreneurs in that lens. Entrepreneurs are individuals that are willing to take a risk, that found a business case to support their idea, and they move forward with that. And the fruits of their labor give our community a variety of new experiences, whether it's services, goods, in that fashion, as well as opportunities for new jobs and opportunities for opening your doors to new ideas in that space. So we look at entrepreneurship in that through that lens. And it's so crucial because we know that for us to keep developing newer businesses, we need entrepreneurs to take the risk and go for their ideas. And our role at LEAP is make sure that how can we support them in that process? Can we support them through the technical assistance angle, giving them connectivity to resources, support them through the funding or fundraising or financing of their business, support them through the connection to other key partners and stakeholders that may be the right fit to help them grow and scale their idea, or at least even develop or prototype it. So those are the reasons why we focus on entrepreneurship, knowing that we want our community to grow and thrive. And who's not excited when they see a new venture happen, right?
Absolutely.
When you see a new store locate, when you see a new app that comes out or a tech company that forms our community, or you see a new plant, or some of these are smaller scale ventures that grow into these larger small businesses, one would say. And so, but that breeds excitement, and that excitement draws attention, which is like the whole snowball effect, or the water cycle here, that one thing leads to another and another, and it keeps building upon each other.
Absolutely. And I love it that LEAP, you don't just say, well, we support you. You actually have a lot of programs in place to literally guide people through all the steps and give them the support. And programs that you work with are the Hatching, the One and All, and the BAP or BAF. So can you tell me a little bit about each of those and how you're involved in it?
Yeah, so the Hatching is a pitch competition we started here at LEAP for partners at Spark Innovation, a number of other small businesses. Times go by, but maybe about 9 years ago.
Oh, wow, I can't believe that.
All right, yeah, exactly. Now you got me thinking, like, wow, this has been a minute. It started off as a monthly competition. We held it at Beggar's Banquet. It was a great way to have people activate and take action on their ideas. Everybody has a great idea, but that number gets less when people actually act on those ideas. And without action, your idea is just an idea. And so the Hatching was a way to have people activate, take action on that, and put that out there in the universe, and to get support from the community to move that idea forward. And so that was a monthly competition. We now we do it quarterly for the last couple of years here. But we still have the same output. Instead of just having one main winner, we have multiple winners in the quarterly competitions. But the whole idea is there to be an entry point where somebody has an idea. You have 5 minutes to pitch your idea, and then you get support, get a seed investment of capital. You get wraparound services like LLC formation from Loomis Law, marketing, video, website consulting or support or development. So we always try to give these additional wraparound services to grow the idea. And we've had, in the last, like say 9 years here, each Hatching is roughly 5 to 7 entrepreneurs pitch their idea. So that's been a lot of ideas been coming through our doors here, and we've seen a lot flourish in that time frame. One of the most recent ones is, Nikki Thompson Frazier with Sweet Encounter Bakery and Kids Academy, Culinary Academy. She's won multiple awards now. She's in the process of activating a storefront downtown Lansing in the near future, which is great.
Awesome.
So we have a number of programs like that. And One and All is one of our newest programs, which really is part of our equitable economic development focus, which is making sure that everybody has access to the entrepreneurial pathway. And so in Michigan, around 40% of the population is at or below the ALICE threshold, which is the Asset Limited Income Constrained Employee threshold. So for a worse term is like the working poor. You're not the poverty line, but you're not really getting ahead, and you're pretty much one life crisis away from slipping behind. And 40% of Michigan residents are that, which is unfortunate. So we want to create a program that was really made sure it's accessible to individuals within that threshold to give them opportunity to get their idea going, because their ideas are just as valid as anybody else's with resources and means. And we want to make sure that we had a program for that for them as well. We had great success over the last year and a half with One and All.
So what would you say to somebody, because, pitching your idea, that's scary. I mean, you're kind of opening yourself up to criticism and all that. So what would you say to somebody who's just kind of nervous, afraid to share it, not sure if it's really a good idea, and, not really sure how to get started? What would be your words of encouragement to them?
Yeah, you know what? It's not as scary as you think it is. But, it's always scary when you open you think there's behind the veil. But once you, peek your head through and take that first step, you open your world up to a number of great opportunities. And so just be prepared and go with those actions of thinking of the best outcomes. Mm-hmm. You might have to have some harsh truths that maybe your idea needs to be more fine-tuned, or maybe it's not ready for the current market or the market segment. What you're going for is not ready for it yet. And that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has that. We have to be able to persevere through that and be determined to make that happen. So I would tell somebody don't let the thought scare you out of it, because the real life results way surpass any type of fear or reservation that you're feeling right now.
Absolutely. Now, you have a lot of student-focused programs. You have the Star Tank at LCC. You have Burgess at Michigan State. Can you tell us a little bit more about those programs?
Yeah. So we've LCC has been a great partner over the years, and so has MSU, and they've really taken off with their entrepreneurial efforts over the past 6 years, 7 years as well. And so for LCC, there's a great faculty and staff, Bill Motz. I think he just retired this year.
I know. I'm so sad about that.
Right? I feel like everybody, if you're familiar with LCC by any possibility, you kind of know who Bill Motz is.
Everybody knows Bill Motz. Yes.
Everybody. Exactly. He's a local gem, and means so much to the college as well as the community as a whole. And so with that, he developed a program called Star Tank, which was a looser version, a playoff like Shark Tank, where LCC students have the ability to pitch their idea. And so LEAP has been a funder and sponsor of that with a few other corporations and entities throughout the half decade, if not more, for that. And that's been a great way, an entry point where LCC students can venture in and getting the skill set to help pitch their ideas and getting feedback about their business ideas. Then MSU, Burgess has been a game changer on campus through everything with Ken Smuziak and Paul Jakes and Lori Fisher and Jeff Smith at MSU have been all phenomenal over there, really bringing the entrepreneurial culture from the student level, and as well as from making sure the university is a resource and accessible to the community, the surrounding community as well. And so there are a number of programs that MSU has really, fostered and grown, and the Burgess Institute has been phenomenal with that.
That's so cool. And then another thing that just finished up, but I'd like you to talk a little bit about it, is the Ingham County Sunrise Grants.
Yeah, absolutely. So, throughout this last year, there's, through COVID, or more than the last year, the year and a half now, through COVID and the pandemic, there's been a number of programs put in place for small business relief. And, starting from last April, really. And there's been a number of intervals of different programs. And the most recent one, it has been the Ingham County Sunrise. So through the ARPA, the American Rescue Plan Act, funds that Biden and the Senate passed, similar to what Trump did with the CARES Fund in 2020, there's a number of monies going out the door to local communities, municipalities, and states. And so Ingham County was actually the first county, to my knowledge, in the state of Michigan, I've done my research here, that has actually activated and used their funds to go to small business relief.
Awesome. That's great.
So it is great. It really is. It shows that we here in Lansing, our community, who are taking a leadership seat in making things move forward because we care about community here. We know that people are hurting. Businesses suffered tremendous loss during the pandemic, and beyond the, physical trauma and the health concerns, the people have lost livelihood and beyond. So through all that being stated, Ingham County Sunrise is a program to help provide resources and funding to get businesses back and booming as we come out of the pandemic.
That's wonderful. Well, we appreciate all you do, all that LEAP does. If there's any entrepreneurs listening, how can they find you? How can they reach you?
Yeah, they can go to purelansing.com, which is our website. My email is Tony, Tony, at purelansing.com. Feel free to email me or fill out our form on the website, and myself or one of our business economic developer associates will reach out and connect.
Thank you so much for joining us today. This is Tony Willis, the Chief Equity Development Officer for LEAP. This is Mary Stucco with Education Unfiltered. Thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you to Davenport University for sponsoring this podcast.